What is executive coaching? Why do companies hire an executive coach? Which is the best executive coaching program? These are some of the questions I'll try to answer in this video. It would be an understatement to say that today's business environment is challenging for the top executives. Constant and rapidly accelerating change driven by technology, relentless cost cutting, flatter organizations, global competition, and many other challenges take up leaders' time and energy and keep them awake at night. Often, leaders and executives are expected to figure things out for themselves in a constantly changing world. They are supposed to have all the answers. They are expected to keep their skills updated, work under pressure, and change and innovate to stay ahead of the competition. It is likely that the leader may be able to do all of these things herself. But the fact is that most executives need help. That is where executive coaching comes in. Executive coaching is a talent management tool for the leadership development of the executive. It is a personalized and confidential relationship between the coach, who is a trained professional, and the executive being coached. Executive coaching helps the leaders to take a stock of their current level of competencies in order to maximize the strengths and overcome areas of weaknesses. It also helps the leader to see how others perceive his own behavior, which in turn helps improve relationships and also the engagement of the team members. The executive coach also helps the leader with clarity of goals, strategy, a plan of action, focus, and accountability. Why do companies hire an executive coach? In a study conducted by Diane Lewis, companies identified various reasons for hiring executive coaches. Here is the list of top 5 reasons with the percentage of respondents citing that particular reason for hiring the executive coach. First, to develop the leadership skills of high potential individuals, 86%. Second, to correct the behavioral problems at the management level, 70%. Third, to improve the odds that a newly promoted manager would be successful, 64%. Fourth, to develop the management and leadership skills among their technical people, 59%. And fifth, to help leaders resolve interpersonal conflicts amongst employees, again 59%. Which is the best executive coaching program? Well, there are many good executive coaching programs. However, only a few of them follow a structured and a uniform process. There is a lot of variation in the coaching approach depending on the coach and the process he uses. There is also a degree of uncertainty about the areas of development that the executive coach and the leader are working on. The answer to the question, what area of improvement are the coach and the leader currently working on, is not crystal clear, and it often changes with time during the course of the entire coaching engagement. One of the most popular and widely used executive coaching program worldwide is Marshall Goldsmith's stakeholder-centered executive coaching. Over the last 40 years, it has been used to coach more than 400,000 executives in more than 60 countries, including executives from 150 of the Fortune 500 companies. In a survey of 11,000 leaders on 4 continents, more than 95% of the leaders using this stakeholder-centered coaching process improved. 95%. The exact same process is available worldwide through a network of more than 3,000 coaches in 200 cities in 60 countries in multiple languages. Who is Marshall Goldsmith? Here is what some of the most respected publications think of Dr. Marshall Goldsmith. Thinkers 50, world's most influential leadership thinker for the year 2015 and 2011. Top 10 business thinkers. Top rated executive coach 2015, 2013 and 2011. Forbes, one of the 5 most respected executive coaches. Wall Street Journal, top 10 executive educators. American Management Association, AMA, 50 great leaders who have impacted the field of management over the past 80 years. Inc. magazine, America's #1 executive coach. The Times, UK, 15 greatest business thinkers in the world. The Economic Times, India, top CEO coaches of America. These are some of the accolades given by the most respected publications to Dr. Marshall Goldsmith. What exactly is Marshall Goldsmith stakeholder-centered executive coaching? Here are the key defining points of Marshall Goldsmith stakeholder-centered executive coaching process. Number 1, supporting successful people. Marshall Goldsmith stakeholder-centered executive coaching helps successful leaders become more successful. It is not a fix for a low performer. This list also includes the people who have been identified as high potentials and expected to take up future leadership roles. Number 2, to grow their leadership behavior effectiveness. What is leadership behavior effectiveness? It is the process of making the leader aware of his own behavior and its impact on team members. Behavior change helps establish better relationships, better employee engagement, which results in improved performance of the entire team. It also includes rectifying derailing behaviors. These are annoying behaviors of otherwise good leaders. Often, such behaviors become a hindrance to smooth functioning of the team. Marshall Goldsmith stakeholder-centered coaching process helps leaders improve their own derailing behaviors as well as change the perception of the team members. Often, people are promoted to a higher role without much support due to business emergencies. For example, an urgent project or a senior leader leaving the organization. Leadership coaching also helps the leader transition into a higher role. It also helps the leader transition across into another role within the company whenever such a need arises. Number 3, through feedback and feedforward from stakeholders on the job. Feedback allows the leaders to become aware of the blind spots that may be acting as her leadership bottlenecks. However, once the feedback is received, most of the focus is on feed forward. Feed forward is asking suggestions from the team members, the stakeholders, for improvement in the future. This takes the focus away from the past, which cannot be changed, to the future, which can be improved if the leader acts on stakeholder suggestions. Number 4, in their professional job environment. Unlike life coaching or some other executive coaching programs, Marshall Goldsmith stakeholder-centered executive coaching focuses solely on professional development of the executive. It does not focus on personal issues which are often addressed in life coaching. Number 5, to create predefined results. The agenda of a life coaching is often determined by the executive being coached. The agenda may also change during the span of the life coaching engagement. Marshall Goldsmith stakeholder-centered executive coaching process assesses the leader on predefined leadership competencies. And the assessors are leaders' own stakeholders, team members who interact frequently with the leader, superiors, subordinates, peers, and sometimes customers or vendors. Once the leadership bottleneck competencies are identified, the executive coach and the leader work on improving these predefined competencies for the entire duration of the executive coaching engagement, which can last from 6 months to 18 months. Number 6, as acknowledged by the stakeholders. Stakeholders are the leader's team members who interact frequently with the leader. They are at the receiving end of the leader's behaviors. In other words, they are the consumers of the leader's leadership product. No one else is in a better position than the stakeholders to assess whether the leadership behaviors are good or not, and whether they are improving or not. In the Marshall Goldsmith stakeholder-centered executive coaching process, as the name suggests, the stakeholders are right at the center. Ultimately, they decide whether the leader has improved her behaviors or not. How? This is done through an anonymous survey. A leader is considered to have improved not because the leader says so or the coach says that he has improved, but only when the stakeholders through an anonymous survey confirm that the leader has improved. Number 7, using a well-defined process or system for a time period of 6 to 18 months. Marshall Goldsmith stakeholder-centered executive coaching process is a well-defined, tried and tested process. It is designed to appeal to the leader's ways of thinking and leverage it to help the leaders improve. It is also a process that has been used to coach more than 400,000 executives and leaders in more than 60 countries, including executives from the 150 of the Fortune 500 companies. The process is highly effective. In a survey of 11,000 leaders on 4 continents, more than 95% of the leaders using this process improved. 95%. Marshall Goldsmith stakeholder-centered executive coaching usually lasts for a minimum of 6 months and could last up to as long as a year and a half. Number 8, mostly face-to-face or in person. Although technology has advanced and video conferencing is a norm in any large organization, nothing, and I say nothing, beats human touch when it comes to establishing rapport and connection. Without proper rapport between the coach and the leader, the effectiveness of any coaching is likely to reduce. Hence, Marshall Goldsmith stakeholder-centered coaching is done at the leader's office in person with the coach. This also makes it highly time efficient for the busy leader, as he doesn't have to leave his work or doesn't have to travel. To summarize, what is Marshall Goldsmith stakeholder-centered executive coaching, and what makes it the best coaching program available? It is the process of supporting successful leaders to grow their leadership behavior effectiveness, including developing specific competencies, transitioning up or across within the organization, and overcoming derailing behaviors. How? Through feedback and feedforward from stakeholders on the job, in their professional work environment, not personal issues, to create predefined results as acknowledged by the stakeholders using a well-defined process for a period of 6 to 18 months and mostly face-to-face and in person. Why is it one of the best coaching programs available on the market? Here are some of the features of the Marshall Goldsmith stakeholder-centered leadership development coaching process. Guaranteed measurable leadership growth as assessed not by us, not by the leader, but the leader's own stakeholders, and that too anonymously. Unlike training or executive education program, the entire team will be involved in doing their day-to-day work. The leader becomes the coach and it has a cascading effect on the entire team. It is a system for continuous improvement for the leaders themselves and their teams, sort of Kaizen for leadership development. In a study of 11,000 leaders on 4 continents, 95% of the leaders using this process improved. Yes, that's right, 95%. This is also the exact same process that has been used by more than 150 of the Fortune 500 companies to develop their leaders. In fact, we are so confident of the process that we often work on a no growth, no pay basis. What does it mean? Either the leader improves, and if she doesn't, then you don't pay us. Don't try that with other vendors. Schedule an exploratory call for 15 minutes at your convenience by clicking the link, or talk to a leadership advisor today by calling the number on the link. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.